Good morning, and welcome from Valencia, Negros Oriental. I wanted to talk a little bit about noise in your guitar, or in this case, a bass. I'll start out by saying I'm not a bass player, so you're not going to get any bass licks here. But anyway, this is a nice Fender made in Mexico bass. Like most electric instruments that I get in the shop, it has some hum. There's several reasons for noise like this. You can see that it's reason number one, and this is the biggest reason in the Philippines, is grounding. The grounding in the Philippines is not like the grounding in the United States. And so, even a well set up instrument and a nice amplifier will often hum. There's not a heck of a lot that you can do. One of the things that you can do, though, is you can flip the position of your plug, and sometimes that will reduce the hum. Let's try that. In this position, it's maybe 60% of what it was before. Still got hum, but less. So there are some workarounds for grounding problems, but recognize that if you're playing clubs or you're home, you may or may not have proper grounding. In fact, there's a strong chance you have poor grounding. When we built this house, we made sure that we put a grounding rod in both the house and the shop, and I still have hum. So that's number one. Number two is electrical interference. You can get interference from lights, from an aircon unit, from any appliance, and the interference can cause that noise. What we do, in this case, we can do something, is we use copper tape, line the cavity with copper tape. In my experience, that can eliminate at least 50% or more of the unpleasant noise by copper taping the control cavity of your guitar or bass. So that's a solution that we can do something about. The third reason you may have unpleasant noise is that one or more of your electrical elements is dirty. And that could be the tone or volume control. It could be the output jack. Sometimes they get dirty and create a little bit of noise. A switch, this instrument doesn't have a switch. You'll notice if you switch back and forth between positions on your switch, if you get a lot of noise in switching back and forth, it's the switch. Now, there is something we can do that's simple about that kind of noise, and that is I can clean those elements with contact cleaner. And sometimes we'll get lucky, and I clean out the output jack or a switch or a pot, and get rid of most or all of the offending noise. Sometimes it is clear that you can't get rid of it all. And again, we go back to number one or number two, it's either grounding or it could be interference, but it can also be a bad pot. This pot has got a little bit, you can hear it, just a little bit of noise. It's not terrible. And I did hit it with the contact cleaner and got it a lot cleaner. In the Philippines, because of the humidity in the environment, you get lots of rust, lots of corrosion in your, in your metal components. And sometimes it's just a matter of cleaning them of all that gunk and all that rust. Sometimes it's as simple, not even with a contact cleaner, if you haven't used your guitar in a while, you know, turn your pot back and forth a bunch of times, and often that's all that it takes to break some of that corrosion. But usually it's better to open the thing up and clean it. So those are the three, and I get complaints about this all the time. My guitar makes noise. Is it something wrong? Is it my pickups? Rarely. Most of the time it's one of those elements we just talked about. Some of those things can be fixed. The grounding problems are much more difficult to deal with. But I thought I would talk about it because so many people come to the shop and ask about it. And it's a reality of electric guitar, especially if you have a single coil electric guitar with single coil pickups. They're noisy. By nature, they're noisy. There are modern noiseless pickups that eliminate the vast majority of any of these noises, and those are kind of cool. But the traditional single coils are noisy. So anyway, that was just a quick video about noise. Thank you. I'm not sure if you can hear it, but I just opened up the control cavity here and cleaned out those pots. They're still scratchy, but not nearly as much. Still have a little bit, but a lot less. And that's at maximum. And I guess if I keep playing with these, I might get rid of most of that. So sometimes it's just a matter of cleaning.